Alright guys, before we get to the main part of the video, I want to let you know that this coming up week, or might be actually this week, just depending on when this video posts, but anyway, February 17th and 18th, Kelly Carter and I will be at the Farm and Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. We will be there that Thursday and Friday. So if you're a viewer and want to meet us, we'd love to meet with you also. Now, we won't be at a specific booth hanging out, doing autographs or whatever, meet and greets like other people. You know, we'll just be among the crowd looking over stuff ourselves. But if you happen to be walking around and notice us, you know, feel free to come up and say hi. We'd love to meet you and talk with you for a few minutes. So, I know it's a real big venue, usually tons of people there. I mean, I don't exactly know where we'll be. I know I got a few specific exhibits I want to look at, mainly having to do with grain bins, grain handling equipment. But, you know, I'll probably look at most all the exhibits at some point in those 2 days. Again, if you'd love to meet us that Thursday and Friday, if you happen to see us, just flag us down. We'll be glad to spend a few minutes with you. Now we'll get to the rest of the video. Woo-wee! White cold front has showed up. It's officially winter. Coldest day of the year so far, about 19 degrees out here, north wind about 15 miles an hour, wind chill about 5 degrees. It ain't gonna be fun loading grain today. It shouldn't be too bad in the bin. As Zach just got back, we're gonna get him back on the road as quick as we can. Holy moly, it's cold out here. Tell you how cold it is. All that rain we got yesterday, this ground was sopping wet. And it is flash frozen, hard as a brick. All right, let's get here inside the bin, get another load loaded. At least I'll be out of the wind, still be cold, but at least this wind won't be blowing on me. It's brutal. Oh shoot, the button's frozen. Well, let me get some de-icer there. I don't have any WD-40. I'm gonna try a little PB blaster, see if that'll melt it, clear the water out. Well, it's running anyway. We'll figure out how to shut it off here later. Looks like my button finally popped out. I tell you what, nothing wants to work right in the cold. I'm sure you guys up north probably feel my pain a lot more than what I do. All right, get back up here in the office and get me a drink of coffee.
Well, we're here. isn't too terribly bad, but I've been here for 35 minutes and not one truck has moved. So here we go again. And I passed about 30 trucks on the way up here who I know were hauling in here, who are coming back up for one more load. So it's looking like a pretty eventful Friday. But we'll see how long we're up here this time. All right, hour and 45 minutes later, back on the road. It's 5 till 1 now. Unless they call and say, hey, hold up, I'm probably gonna get another one in today. Thank the Lord. Another 45-minute trek back to the shop. About 5 minutes to get loaded up. Back on the road for number 3. Just like any bout of Tennessee weather, it got down to like 11 degrees last night. It is 23 degrees right now. It is 10 till 7.
Woo, out here again this morning and just as frigid as it was yesterday. Well, we're a little over halfway done sweeping this bin. There's a chance we might get the rest of this moved out. Well, unfortunately, this day got a whole lot interesting for y'all anyway. Zach just called me and got something pretty bad wrong on the truck. Something blew and blowing oil all over the rear side of the engine, up under the cab. He can't track it down. So I'm running up there to see if I can help him. Unfortunately, our service truck, it's broke right now. Something about something's wrong with the input shaft going into the transmission. It's been at the dealership for 2 weeks now. They still ain't got it in, so we've got no tools. Well, I've got no truck with all the tools we need going up there. So I hollered at my old buddy Dylan Joyce. He's a little bit closer to where Zach's broke down than what I am. And anyway, he said he can bring his service truck up there, and I know he's got a well-equipped service truck. He'll have whatever tool we need on there if we can find out what exactly is wrong. So anyway, that's what we're doing now. Racing off to Dyersburg. Alright, let's see what we got going on over here. Oh me, what a mess. Well, we're thinking it could be the output shaft there on the transmission. Seal's gone out. Alright, this is where we're at. We were able to find the seal in Union City. Dylan showed up with his service truck, so we got tools. And also the custom haulers that we've used in the past are located up here in Dyersburg. They came over and they got a building that we can pull into and work on this thing, because I really don't want to be working on it out here in the parking lot of Love's truck stop. They might frown on that and give me some grief. and I really don't know exactly what we're going to get into, so we're going to limp it over here to this guy's shop and start taking bolts apart and see what comes loose. All right,
getting our mobile tool station set up.
Alright, straight up. Right back. So you can still pull a gooseneck?
Won't work? Yeah, that range probably a half inch. Oh, that ain't good. It could be better. Yeah. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. How many extra throw up in there? It's made right at 900. Oh, yeah. We've had some good luck recently. You're gaining some ground? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what size nut that is? I can't get that. Robert. Yeah. It's like a 5/8 or 11/16. Slipped off, didn't it?
Chain popped loose. Can't see. You shot it down here.
I think it broke loose a little bit. It looked like it did. It looked like it did the whole way. Six threads did.
Where's
Let's put some tension back on it again.
she popped in?
Chain pop. I say put it back together. Monday morning we'll just carry it right across the road. I'll get it fixed while me and Kelly gone and finish up the beans. Then we'll get back. Well, we'll be here to freaking midnight. And still might not have no success. still got that pothole in the Wendy's parking lot here. We can drive it through there.
Oh, trust me, it's still there.
Well, unfortunately, we got a admit failure for the second time here in 2022 already. Not a good feeling. We're only a couple weeks or 3 weeks in and done failed at a test twice.
No, you done had 2 failures already in 2022?
Yeah, the sandblasting of the sprayer of my equipment wouldn't quite cut it.
That was a fun day.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, we're what 3 weeks into 2022 and already had 2 things I can't do. Doesn't bode well for the rest of the year. But man, I sure do appreciate your help bringing this up here.
It's nothing but a thing, man.
I sure would have been in a pickle.
I just wish we could have completely got it done.
Yeah. But anything comes up this year you need help with, you know who to call. Oh, you know.
I'll collect on the paper one day.
I mean, you swap phone numbers, that way we can get a hold of each other.
If that sprayer happens to go down on you, come try and grab mine.
I hope we're done with the sprayer going down there.
You haven't even used it this year yet, though.
No, I know it. I hope we got that
You
fixed.
don't let him open his mouth now. He's
All
not
right.
finished yet.
I'm just gonna pretend like it's down and come get it.
Your daughter's serious.
I reckon we're gonna carry this thing across the road Monday morning and let the professionals deal with it. We just that yoke is froze on there, and we used every trick we got at our disposal, and I couldn't get it to budge. So, reckon we'll let the professionals do it next week, and then we'll wrap up the bean hauling whenever they get it fixed. Hey, Corn Dog, you want to say hi to all my watchers?
Hi.
I'll call JP Machine Repair this morning. They're going to be able to get the trucking in. They said go ahead and bring it over. Might be able to squeeze it in the next day or 2, hopefully.
Okay.
But I don't imagine we're going to be able to do any hauling until we get back from Vegas. I don't reckon, though.
It never fails. It's like an omen. We get right to the end and it's just...
At least it tore up now rather than, say, 2 days into wheat harvest next June. That'd been pretty bad.
Just praying that I called it the time it didn't screw nothing
I think transmission's just fine. It wasn't making no noises. They still got some oil in it. It's been like almost 2 weeks since we dropped the truck off at repair shop.
Something like that.
Ain't near it. That's a good thing we didn't keep on tackling that thing anymore that evening. We'd never gotten it off. They told me they wound up having to take a cutting torch and cutting that yoke off. It was froze on there so bad.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't screw with it anymore. We did.
Yeah, we kept dealing out there all night long and still not had no success. And then they ordered one. They ordered it overnight, FedEx. And well, we can imagine how that went. Of course, it didn't show up, got lost or whatnot, so they wound up having to order another yoke again. He says it's ready to go. $1,700 later.
We wouldn't get the last of these beans.
Now we got almost 2 loads in the loadout bin and what, a load and a half left in the grain bin itself. About four more loads maybe.
Yeah.
I better get this truck and get these beans knocked out and get paid for them. Let's see what it looks like. A nice brand new shiny yoke down there.
Fancy new seal.
I'll get her started up and hooked up, see if she blows any oil getting on. Well, I just talked with a mechanic. He said they broke a 5-ton porta power trying to pull that yoke off. I ain't never seen one of these up there that bad.
Doubt it's ever been off in its life.
Well, it ain't been off since I owned it, and I've owned it 10 years now.
I made a boo-boo. I left the tarp off, and there's about 9 inches of snow in the trailer. I'm gonna open the doors driving up.
There ain't no beams in the bottom. Yeah, we'll open up the doors and drive off. He also said that they changed the air dryer filter and drained the oil. Air tank. Said there was a little bit of oil in there, so we're probably looking at having to replace the compressor here
Great.
before this coming hauling season.
Maybe there were some beans in there.
Okay, well let's get out there right before we pull on 412, and then we'll open up the gates there. I don't want to dump all the beans and stuff in there parking lot. Alright, let's get this thing back home and load it up again. Hey guys, on the way back from getting my truck, getting back to the farm, I just did some quick math. We got a very unique circumstance right here. This is one of the few times I can remember where a breakdown of a piece of equipment has actually made me money. Alright, the cost on getting the truck repaired was around $1,800 when you count the parts that we bought. And we were down about 2 weeks from not being able to haul soybeans. Well, in that 2 weeks, the price of soybeans has risen dramatically on problems with production in Brazil because it's summer down there. They're going through a drought. Been a few other things. Things are being unsettled in the world right now with Russia and China, but a lot of factors causing soybeans to go up. They'll probably go up artificially because I don't think it's going to last because the supply and demand part is not really there to drive the soybean prices up. But anyway, over about the last 2 weeks, soybean prices have increased about $2 per bushel. Very big increase. Well, we've got about we've hauled almost all of the soybeans that we actually had contracted, and we got about 3,000 bushels of beans that over in what we've contracted that we would normally just spot sell. And if we had if our truck hadn't broke down and we delivered those beans 2 weeks ago, we've been getting somewhere around $13.50 per bushel for soybeans. Well, now since our truck broke down and we haven't hauled it, we're going to spot sell those soybeans for, I think the price right now is right around $15.50 a bushel. So the breakdown might have cost us 2 weeks, cost us $1,800, but we're wind up going to make about $6,000 more off those soybeans. So very rare that things actually line up to, to have a positive outcome like that. But really glad it kind of happened this way. All right, let's get this sucker loaded up, get Zach on the road again, getting these beans hauled. And I got something else to show you. It's what we were working on last 2 days of last week. Alright, so last week we had perhaps the worst ice storm we've had come through ever since 1994. Wasn't as bad as maybe what it could have been, but still bad enough, as you can tell. Now we've already done some cleaning up, but it pretty much scalped my pine trees. And you still see there's still a lot of debris on the ground even after getting our limbs cleaned up. But that was not the worst damage from it. This right here was the worst damage from it. What you got here is the remains of I'm guessing about 120-year-old oak tree. I'm assuming this tree was planted about the same time my house was built. Our house was built in 1900 or 1901. And anyway, the ice took it down. You can see, just like most oak trees, it was hollow in the center. Maybe not as bad as I thought it would be, but it was enough to bring it down. Now this could have been a whole lot worse than what it actually was. The good Lord definitely blessed us in looking out after us, because this massive tree could have easily destroyed my house. And as it was, all we had was one of the limbs come on the roof of the house, poked a couple holes in the tin up here, and ruined some gutters. Could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. What it did do is it did take down our power lines, our internet line. So we still got a couple limbs standing up on the roof, and then one of the big limbs fell right on our guide wire, and as you can tell, our pole is not standing up straight anymore. It pulled it over, had a lot of tension on it, and it was a pain in the butt to try and cut it up and get it off the limb without dragging the wires down after Gibson Electric fixed them up. But as you can see, our yard is completely ruined. And then you can see the remains of the tree over there. Luckily we had heavy equipment and we were able to get it cleaned up in 2 days. And luckily we had a big enough log chain, a big enough cable that we're able to kind of trim some of the bigger limbs off the tree, and then the two main halves of the tree, one of them fell that way, the other one fell this way. We were able to tie it to a tractor and haul it over there, and saved us a whole lot of labor on the cutting it up part. But anyway, it was 2 days of hard work getting all of this removed, but luckily it's done. But for all of y'all that like to see tillage, you don't see it on our channel, well, you're going to see some this spring, because I've got to rehabilitate this yard. So we're going to tear pretty much most of this yard up, sow some new grass. So you will see some tillage on this channel at some point this spring. But luckily it could have been a whole lot worse. I've been knowing that this tree has had to come down for a while. I could tell that it was on its last legs, but I didn't have the capability of dropping it myself safely without either taking down a bunch of other trees in the yard, or taking down my house or power lines. But Mother Nature did the job for me. It took it down with minimal damage to the surrounding stuff. I couldn't have dropped it that good myself. So it's down, it's cleaned up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that trunk, because I've got a big saw, but even a big saw won't go all the way through that trunk. So I don't know if I'm just gonna leave it standing there as a memorial or what. But anyways, that's what we've been dealing with late last week.
Well, after 2 hours of catching up on my solitaire experience and twiddling my thumbs from some reason, my bungee was down for like an hour and 15 minutes this morning. I'm rolling back into the shop, and I'm about to load up the very last of the 2021 crop. Probably gonna be like a half a truckload. Get it in the truck, get turned around. Hopefully they've got all their bugs worked out to where I'm not sitting up there till 6 o'clock tonight, and we will button up crop hauling for 2021. Oh, I'm glad to see this load. I hate hauling up the bungee. It ain't none of the guys' fault. It ain't nobody that works there's fault. It's just everybody hauls up there. They don't get enough time to shut down to maintain their equipment properly. They do the best they can, but Lord, they need about double the space up there in order to run all the trucks that they're running every day. Anyways, we're gonna get loaded up and get out of here.
All right, the last bin is finally clean. No more grain.
go back to the shop, mark this on the wash pad. I got enough time by the time I get back. I can at least get started on cleaning this up and getting it ready to park. And then we'll be into winter work officially. Getting everything serviced, getting everything greased, ready to go for the spring. But the hauling is done. We'll catch you next time.
And now all of our bins are completely empty. All the grain has been hauled for this year. Next up will be our wheat crop going in here in about 5 months or so. And just to give you an interesting fact, in order for us to fill all of our bins up all the way with wheat, we'll need to average about 295 bushels per acre. Not gonna happen, but we can always wish, can't we? Anyway, the final verdict on this loadout structure here, hugely successful. But it's been more useful than I even imagined it ever could be. This has been one of the easiest grain hauling seasons we've ever had, and a lot of it was because didn't have to sit out here on the stairs and wait for the elevator to load a truck up. It was quick, easy, got a truck on the road. We hauled a ton of grain with one truck, and just I wish I'd done it years ago. Never. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed watch this haul of grain, and now that's over with. It's time to get in the shop and really get fired up on some winter projects that we need to do, because it seems like winter's really running short this year. So anyway, guys, appreciate y'all watching. We'll be back again soon.